Hi, good evening, and welcome to the Claymont Community Center 3rd Annual Festival of Lights. My name is Allison David, and I'm the CEO of the center. On behalf of the staff and the board of directors, I want to thank you for joining us at this event. I'd like to take a minute to thank and welcome some special guests who are here with us tonight. State Senator-elect Senator Sarah McBride, State Representative-elect Larry Lambert, Newcastle County Councilman John Cartier, and I'd like to acknowledge United States Senator Chris Coons, who sends regrets that he could not join us due to being in session in Washington. Most importantly, I'd like to thank you, the members of this community, who came out in person and are following us along on Facebook to support the center. Because of all of you, we've raised over $5,200 that will support the programs we run. Thank you. Because of your generosity, together we are shining a light and making a difference in this community. 2 years ago, we were inspired by an idea to host an event featuring lights. Knowing the significance of lights in so many holidays, we thought this would be a great way to celebrate our center and the diverse community we serve. As we approached year 3 of this event, the COVID-19 pandemic had other plans and forced us to think differently about how to do this event. I am thrilled that you are here to join us in person and virtually for this celebration. The center's mission is to enhance the community by addressing the human needs of wellness, belongingness, and esteem. The COVID-19 crisis has tested the concept of community, and never before have we all needed belongingness more. I am so proud of the staff who have stepped up to meet this challenge. Tonight, I turn the lights on them. They've worked countless hours to stay connected with the people they care deeply about. Overnight, our senior center, learning center, and empowered youth programs shifted to virtual services, and our food closet immediately began outdoor food distribution. Connecting people with resources, wellness checks, food deliveries to homes, and sending out cards are just some of the things that they did to stay connected. They continue to provide encouragement and hope that we will get through this. Desmond Tutu said, "Hope is being able to see that there is light despite all the darkness." To our building partners who operate their programs at the center, thank you for sharing your services and your businesses. You are an integral part of this community. Take a look around you. The light is surrounding us. Yet for so many people struggling or dealing with the loss of a loved one, the holidays are often difficult and sad. This year especially, collectively, we mourn the loss of over 270,000 Americans lost to COVID. I'd like to ask for a brief moment of silence in their memory. We hope that tonight's event reminds us all that we all have in our hearts people who bring a light so great to the world that even after they have gone, their light remains. Many people have donated lights in memory of special people. Others have donated lights in honor of people or in celebration of milestones. We welcome you to look at this display of lights. So light surrounds us during the holiday season, and we are pleased to include the lighting ceremonies in our event tonight. We have asked people in the community to join us in sharing about the holidays and the meaningfulness of lights in those traditions. I hope you enjoy our holiday celebration and learn more about the holidays being showcased this evening. It is my pleasure to welcome our friends from the Siegel JCC, Mona Duell, Chief Operating Officer, and Katie Glazier, Program Director, to give us a few words about Hanukkah.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
All good? Wonderful. Thank you all so much for having us here tonight. My name is Katie Glazier. I'm the program director at the JCC in Wilmington. And Hanukkah begins a week from today, next Thursday at sundown on December the 10th, and runs for 8 nights. Why 8 nights? Why December 10th? Well, there's a couple answers to those, which I'll share with you now. But first, I'm going to tell you a little bit about why Hanukkah. What is Hanukkah? Hanukkah is a minor Jewish holiday, paling in comparison and significance to what some other traditions are celebrating right now. Hanukkah tells the story of the Jewish people about 160 years before the Common Era. So going back in time, at the time, the land of Israel was ruled by the Syrian Greeks and a king named Antiochus. And Antiochus was like Greek power. Everyone should be Greek. You all have to do exactly what I want to do. I am Greek. You are Greek. You cannot be anything other than Greek. And the Jewish people at the time had a problem with that. They didn't want to be Greek. They wanted to be Jewish. So a small group of Jews, led by the Judah and Mattathias, they were father and son, along with their brothers. They became the Maccabees, and they rose up against the Greek rulers, and they said, "We don't want to be Greek. We're going to be Jewish." And the King Antiochus sort of led the charge and said, "No, you cannot do that. You must be Greek." And they came in and they destroyed the Holy Temple. They trashed it from one end to the other, threw everything down, broke everything they could find, made a huge mess. That led to a small war where the Jews rose up and eventually defeated and repelled the Greeks from the land of Israel. And they went into the temple, and they look up, and the eternal light, there's a light in to this day, in every single synagogue, in every single Jewish house of worship that you go into, you will see an eternal light. Now, most of the time it's electric. Back then, it was oil, is lit all the time. And when they got there, the first thing they noticed, that light had gone out. Okay, we've got this huge mess. Do we start cleaning up the mess? No, the first thing we need to do is light this light. So they start looking for the oil. They can't find any oil. Everything is destroyed. They're looking in their storerooms. They're looking under the benches. They're looking everywhere they can. Where is this oil? They finally find a tiny, tiny little bit of oil. Enough, maybe a day, maybe a whole day. But making more oil is going to take a little more than a week. So what do? Do they light the light now and then have it go out? It's already out now. Maybe we should just make some more oil and we'll wait. And they decide, no. The first thing we need to do is we need to have this light. This is the eternal light. It is never supposed to go out. We're going to light it now. When it goes out again, we'll deal with it. So they light the light. They start making more oil, and they start cleaning up the temple. They come in the next day. The light is still going. The next day, the light is still going. How is this happening? There was not enough light. How is this still going on? There was not enough oil. How? Every day, the light never went out, and eventually they had made them more oil. They were able to keep it going, but it was a true miracle that the light had lasted for as long as it did, that the oil lasted, that the light didn't go out. So we commemorate that holiday now with an 8-day festival of light, where we light our menorah. So this is the menorah. And every night the first night we light 2 candles. We light our middle candle, which is called our shamash. That is our helper candle. And you can see that it is a different height than the others. All 8 nights are of equal significance. And then our helper candle, it can be higher, it can be lower. When you look at any picture of a menorah, you'll see 8 even, 1 a different height. And then we begin lighting. So we start here. This is the first night candle. Then the second night, we light the second night. Then the first night. We're going to light all 8 right now to get the maximum amount of light, because that's really what this is all about. And the holiday of Hanukkah happens at a particular time in the Jewish calendar. The Jewish calendar and the secular Gregorian calendar are a little bit different, which is why this year it happens to be beginning on December the 10th. Next year, maybe it'll begin on the 20th or November 30th. It's a different time every year, but always seasonally appropriate. And we remember the miracle of the oil lasting, of our ability to continue to practice our religion freely, which is something I know everyone here shares, is the desire to do what feels comfortable for them. And when we light the lights, we remember that, and we eat food fried in oil to remember the miracle of the oil that lasted for 8 days when there's no way it should have lasted that long. So happy Hanukkah, everyone, and thank you so much for having us here.
Thank you so much. It is my pleasure to welcome Councilman John Cartier and Senator Sarah McBride to share some thoughts about Christmas and light our tree.
Thank you, Allison. Thank you. Before I begin my remarks on the text here, I'd just like to thank the staff and leadership of the Claymont Community Center for continuing to render important service to this great community of Claymont in this very difficult time of the COVID pandemic. And this light that we are lighting tonight and all of these faith observances, really, it's in tribute to you. Thank you for everything you do. Christmas is the annual festival commemorating the birth of Jesus and observed on December 25th. It is preceded by the liturgical season of Advent. The Advent wreath has 3 purple candles and 1 pink candle. A candle is lit every Sunday leading up to Christmas. The lights of the Advent wreath symbolize the holy importance of this holiday.
Before I get into the text here, I just also want to thank you, Councilman Cartier. Thank you, Allie, and the whole staff at the Claymont Community Center for bringing us out. I think right now it can be difficult to feel like it's the holiday season. And so these moments of joy are especially important for all of us as we face this crisis. And thank you for bringing me here with my friend, Representative Larry Lambert, with Councilman Cartier, and with all of you. The work of the center really represents what the season's about: hope, joy, support for one another. No one really knows when fir trees were first used as Christmas trees, but it probably began over 1,000 years ago in Northern Europe. The earliest Christmas trees may actually have been hung upside down and hung from the ceiling, so we're all doing it wrong. Today, the Christmas tree, though, has become a symbol of light and joy during the Christmas season. The lights of the Christmas tree symbolize that Christ is the light of the world. And so it is now my pleasure to join with my friend, Councilman Cartier, to light the Claymont Center Christmas tree.
Okay. So this is a 2-step process. It's ideally suited for Senator and myself. Okay? Are we ready?
How many politicians does this take to light a Christmas tree?
All right, are we ready? Are you ready, Senator?
I'm ready. Are we going to count down?
Let's count down. Go ahead.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Apparently 1 and 2 was the answer.
All right. Awesome. Thank you very much. Please join me in welcoming Larry Lambert, State Representative, to share some thoughts about Kwanzaa.
Hey.
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
It's a blessing to be here in front of our wonderful Claymont communities. It's so great to see so many familiar faces, so many supporters of our community center. 2020 marked the 4th different decade that I benefited from the services here at our community center. In the late 80s was the first time I came here because it was the site of the Claymont Boys and Girls Club. In my teenage years, I came to work here at the community center, and I got to meet some of the people here. My neighbor Carmen over here, I met her within the doors of the community center. So I want to encourage everyone to continue to support all of the wonderful programming going on here. It changes lives, it creates leaders, and it helps all of us out. The Claymont Community Center. I want to share with you some information about Kwanzaa. a wonderful celebration that comes from the Swahili phrase that means the fruit of the first harvest. Communal celebration that honors African American culture. It's observed from December 26th to January 1st, culminating into a feast and with gift giving. It was created in the 1960s as a form of pride. During the last time of great civil unrest around social justice issues, African Americans needed something to lean on, something that they could call their own. And even though Kwanzaa is a celebration of African American heritage and culture, it's a celebration that everyone can partake in, and millions of Americans have over the decades. It was created by Mwala Karenge in 1966, and it has 7 core principles called Nyango Sabo, the principles of American heritage. Umoja, which means unity, self-determination, there's collective work and responsibility, cooperative economics, purpose, creativity, and finally faith. The traditional candle holders hold 1 black candle in the middle, 3 red candles to the left, and 3 green candles to the right. The black candle is lit on the first day. The red candles are lit one by one each night, followed by the green candles. Each candle represents one of the core principles, and the Kwanzaa candles are represented to the side of the Christmas tree. While Kwanzaa does not start until December 26th, we wanted to light the first candle to signify the importance of this holiday in our community. Sorry, does someone have a light?
I do.
Thank you so much. You're welcome.
He's got it.
He got it. He has
Probably
a
a big
candle
one.
lighter.
Use that big one.
Happy holidays, everyone.
Thank you. So thank you to our guests for highlighting these important holiday traditions. I want to thank everyone again for joining us for this event. Again, together we raised over $5,000. Your support has raised money for our signature programs, our Brandywine Senior Center for Active Adults, our Empowered Youth Program, our Learning Center, and our Food Closet. Equally important is that we came together as a community to learn about and share in the holiday season. Later this evening, we will post a video of all of the light bulbs. We also invite you to visit the Claymont Center to see our light display over the next week. Please remember while you're here to wear a mask and social distance. May the warmth of the light stay with you during this holiday season and during this difficult time. I am reminded that there is no darkness so dense, so menacing, or so difficult that it cannot be overcome by light. Please remember, we're in this together.